Warriors, rise. Is the government going to shut down crypto? Warriors, we're going to cover that today because that's a real concern of people that are sending me the messages. I'm going to help you take a deep breath, calm your mind, and help you become a fundamental investor so you can help bring the money back to your family. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Warriors, we are 3 days away from the launch to be able to grab your ticket to the Freedom Conference. We have an announcement coming up Friday. You're going to be blown away by the guest speakers we have. You're going to be able to join virtual, in person, and we have a VIP. We'll be launching that on Friday. It'll be in Phoenix, Arizona on April 22nd and 23rd. The tickets go on sale on Friday. It will be limited spots, 250 people. Our last event last year sold out in 3 days. You'll get to be able to meet me, and you'll see on Friday some top influencers and our amazing crypto research team and technical analysis team. All right, let's jump right into this, Warriors. Can the government shut down crypto? Okay, so they're going to make you feel like, Warriors, they are going to crush cryptocurrency, and it's all by design. The reason why is, think about Google, Amazon, Facebook, all these large companies that were disruptive in technology. What did they do? They resisted it. They sued it. They regulated the living shit out of it, and then they joined it. It happens with every single disrupted technology. So what you're going to see as they transition into a CBDC, as they transition the banks into using the blockchain, you're going to see so much FUD to push you out of the marketplace so that they can gain control, and then you are back in the same system. But I want you to understand that fundamental investing is so critical right now. That's what we teach our Warriors. Our Warriors are super calm during these collapses, Warriors, because we are long-term. As Warren Buffett says, I say I'm a Warren Buffett style investor in cryptocurrency. Only buy something that you'd preferably be happy or perfectly happy to hold in the market if it's shut down for 10 years. I'll repeat that. Only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold if the market shuts down for 10 years. That's exactly how I do my investing. 10% of my portfolio is for junk coins. I don't care if it goes to zero, already got my profits out. 90% of my portfolio is this exact sediment right here. I'm willing to hold all of them for 10 years. Even if the market collapses, I will not flinch because I know the real world solved, the utility, the leadership team, and I understand that these are disruptive technologies that the government can't shut down. So let's take a deep dive on the narrative that's happening right now, Warriors, because this narrative is getting thick, right? So the feds are releasing the white paper on central bank digital currencies, and now the big time narrative is coming is that they're going to shut Bitcoin down, Warriors. So let's watch this quick video around what's happening coming up in February.
We've got some breaking news to share for you now regarding the Federal Reserve out with its long-awaited white paper just moments ago, laying out the pros and cons of a central bank digital currency. For more, let's go to Yahoo Finance's Jennifer Schoenberger. So, Jen, I'm wondering if Bitcoin has to worry about some new competition anytime soon from the Fed.
Hey there, Alexis. Yeah, that's right. The Federal Reserve out with its long-awaited paper detailing the pros and cons for a central bank digital currency. The Federal Reserve does not come to a conclusion on the digital dollar, but has a long list of benefits and risks. Among the pros for adopting a central bank digital currency, it would support faster and cheaper payments, including cross-border payments. It would expand consumer access to the financial system, particularly for lower-income Americans, and would preserve the status of the U.S. dollar as a global bank reserve currency. Now, on the risks side, banks rely a lot on deposits, and adopting a central bank digital currency would actually lower the amount of deposits at banks, and that could in turn increase the costs for banks, which could increase credit costs for households and businesses. A CBDC could also create runs for financial firms and make them more likely or more severe. And in the long term, the Fed could have to increase the size of its balance sheet to accommodate a central bank digital currency, just as it increases the size of physical currency. Now,
okay, so we'll leave it right there. So these are really important risks, okay? Now, what I believe is going to happen is that banks are right now, This is what they're doing. They're changing their business model to customer service transaction banks. That's what they're doing, Warriors. Remember, I spent 12 years in banking. I understand how banks work. They're working to get onto the blockchain, and they're basically just going to be customer service. They're going to custody your CBDC. Okay, that's how the Federal Reserve or the central banks are going to keep them from collapsing. They're going to be the pass-through account for your your CBDC, central bank digital currency, and then you will have a wallet. They're going to work to get all of you off the exchanges into the Wells Fargo, the Chase, the Bank of America, the HSBC wallet. Then you're going to be able to do DeFi loans. That's why Ethereum and also Bitcoin as a store of value are going to be massive wars. They're not going anywhere. Remember, they resist it, they regulate it, they sue it, then they join it. So this is where the narrative is coming out heavy now. Bitcoin could be hacked with extremely powerful quantum computers, British researchers say. So can your bank account. So can your Venmo account. So can your PayPal account. So can your computer. Anything can be hacked at some point, right, Warriors? Think about that for just a moment. So they're saying Bitcoin could be, so all the narrative is coming, Warriors. They're going to start dropping all these narratives on you guys. Drop Bitcoin as a legal tender. IMF urges El Salvador. Of course they do. It's International Monetary Fund, right? They're fudding people. They're getting them scared. And now the narrative is too, and I understand. I agree with this, right? These poor people that are using Bitcoin as their legal tender lost 30% of their spending power, right, during this collapse. But if they hold on to that Bitcoin, if they hold on to that valuable currency, right, it's going to go upwards. That's why companies are dumping their money into Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum it's when people say Ethereum is going to go to zero, you guys know how I feel about that. I am constantly on a weekly basis. So I have a Ethereum miner, and when it switches to 2.0, I know it'll go away. I'll get all these comments. It's going away. I understand that. But I have a miner that's producing about $400 in passive income every single month. And then I also buy Ethereum every single week. I dollar cost average in. Okay. We know the Bitcoin narrative is the climate change narrative. The Democrats are hammering down on that, on the climate change. Well, the first thing they did is when they went into I'm not talking politics, is the first thing they did is right when they went into office, Biden went right back into the Paris Agreement. So you have to pay attention to Kathy Woods, people like that are looking futuristically, right? Futuristically. We are zero carbon narrative warriors. If you can look at the cryptocurrencies, you can look at the technologies, you can look at the stocks and investments that are going to be part of the zero carbon narrative, you're going to do very, very well. And we're going to go back to this, warriors, and only buy something you're willing to hold for 10 years, even if the stock market collapses. Okay, so we're going to watch this video. I got to give credit where credit due. It's this YouTube channel is called Only the Savvy. He puts out really, really good videos, and I love Chamath. My apologies for pronouncing people's names. Chamath, whatever. He's a billionaire investor. He's remarkable human being, the way he speaks and stuff. But we're gonna listen to the back end of this video. You can find this full video at Only the Savvy, SAVVY. Only the Savvy, separated, the words Only the Savvy. And you can watch this whole video. He did a really good job piecing this together. So I want to give credit where credit is due. So we're going to watch a middle part of the video. That way you can go check out his channel and subscribe and watch the rest of the video. So we're going to end out with this, and I'll give you my sentiments, and then we will send you guys on your way.
In my opinion, is not of runaway inflation anymore. And the reason was what happened this weekend was incredibly important. And we have seen this happen just a few years ago. So this weekend, China cut interest rates. Now, as we know, we are dealing in the United States with this issue of whether we should raise rates and by how much, because we're worried about inflation. Well, if you're cutting rates, it's because you're worried about the other problem, which is that the economy is basically turned over and you need to become more accommodating. In 2018, here's exactly what happened. The setup was the Fed, everybody.
This is really important, okay? 2018, they knew we were heading into recession, warriors. So then all of a sudden, 2019, they raised the debt ceiling, okay? And I've done stuff on that before. They raised the debt ceiling, right? Or they released the cap on it so they could run hot. Did they know this was coming in 2020?
But he was worried about what the Fed was going to do on interest rates. The Fed was looking at China as the canary in the coal mine, the leading indicator of what we should do. And at the end of 2018, Jerome Powell decided to raise rates. And we raised rates. And then enter 2019, and the Chinese economy turned over. And we realized that their economy was not nearly as strong as we thought it would be. And so our reaction was disproportionate to what the actual data on the ground said. We entered a recession in 2019. That's when you guys probably saw Trump going crazy, blaming Powell. I mean, most of us ignored it because, we were all dealing with, Trump derangement syndrome. But the underlying thing of what he was saying was, hey, hold on a second. You just caused a recession in America by raising too quickly.
So they caused a recession in America by raising too quickly. Okay, we were doing it based on China, but remember what also happened last year in China, just on the back end of the year? Evergrande defaulted, Warriors. Defaulted again, another country or another system or another economic system that basically had false numbers. We're starting to find out that all of the world economy has kicked the can so far down the road. So let me ask you a question. This is me saying this. Let me ask you a question to get you critically think. Don't trust a word I say. Trust the feeling and vibration it creates in your body and act accordingly. Okay. If the whole world economy is on the verge of collapsing, wouldn't you create a new monetary system? Wouldn't you move the casino over to a new monetary system where you can move money at the speed of light and you can take all these people who are unbanked and say that we're trying to create cross-border coherence or get people to be banks so we can support them? What would you do? Create a system, a financial system where you get everybody on distributed ledger technology. You can move money through the speed of light. That way everybody can fee the shit out of each other and become a rental-based society where everything is fees, just like Amazon. Think about that, Warriors. You pay a subscription, just like Netflix. You're moving into a rental-based society. So would you rather be on the train or own the rails that the train goes on?
The Fed is now in this really delicate situation where China cut rates last week. We have an FOMC meeting, the Open Markets Committee that sets rates, on Wednesday, I think, of this coming week. What is he supposed to do? Bill Ackman 2 weeks ago was advocating for a 50 basis point raise in this meeting. My only point is the setup is a very complicated one for the Fed coming into this week. And the risk is to a recession, because if we overcorrect and the leading indicators all around the world tell us that their economies are weak, then inflation may have actually been much more transitory than we thought. And right now we have to decide, because if we overcorrect, we're going to plunge the United States economy into a recession. So look, just to set up, right? We have had more activity and hedging than in any other period in recent memory, except the great financial crisis.
Boom. Okay, so this part really got me, because I've been telling you guys, I feel that we're going into, and this happens about every 100 years, we're going into a recession that's going to be heavier than the Great Depression. Here's why. Number one, it's not just the fact that we're going into the same type of scenario, but Warriors, what happened? Think about this? If the C word happened when there was no social media, do you think it would have gone on this far, or the narrative would have got this deep? Absolutely not. Think about it. With social media, people's houses being taken away, people losing their jobs towards technology, everybody's going to be talking about it, and the stress levels are going to go through the roof. Problem, reaction, solution. The person who is owning the part of the solution becomes the richest people in the world.
Just to set the tone of where we are in terms of volatility in the capital markets, mutual funds who don't short stocks, right? The multi-trillion-dollar mutual fund complex, whose only job is to buy, has been a net seller. Hasn't even started buying a single thing yet. We have an FOMC meeting that's going to happen next week, where Jerome Powell and the Fed has to decide what to do in the face of incomplete data. It's not as if we've even stopped all of the purchasing of assets that we've been doing. We're still putting money into the system. I just want to be clear. We were debating when we stop the spigot. We're not even debating when we shrink our balance sheet as a country. So
Okay, so we'll stop right there. I highly recommend you go watch the rest of the video, subscribe to his channel. Okay, so I'll keep the American flags up here. So your country, as you know it, is being shaken to the core. Supposedly the freest country in the world, Warriors. Now, I am very happy to be in America because we have built, 7-figure companies. We have a conglomerate of companies. I'm very grateful for that because of the freedom. But Warriors, let me ask you a question. Do you feel free right now? Do you feel like you have control of your finances? Do you feel like you can go spend freely or build a future for your family? Or do you feel confused right now? And I think the latter. Probably most people feel confused because you have been indoctrinated into a system where they literally just if we were doing what they were doing, we'd be in big trouble, Warriors. you'd be in big, big trouble. And this isn't about going against anything. I'm not a person who's like, when I say Warriors Rise, that's the internal Christ consciousness in you, the internal vibration, rising up, understanding as a human being, you can take care of yourself as a human being. You don't need somebody to tell you which way to look, you have the opportunity with different fingerprint, different DNA to rise up, to support your family, to look the other way, to invest in some disruptive technologies, to take an opportunity, to take a chance, to go earn some extra income in the freest country in the world, to stop looking at porn, stop watching football every single day and being obsessed with a team, become obsessed with building generational wealth for your family. Nothing wrong with any of that stuff except the fact that it's taking away your opportunity and your focus to help your family, warriors. Think about this. In the worst economic times in the world, we've built multiple companies. In 48 hours, we're about to make a decision that I said was going to happen. And if it happens, this shit is getting crazy, warriors. This shit is getting crazy. I said it was going to happen. And if this happens in 48 hours, it's game over. I'm literally going to become a manifestation expert. I am a manifestation expert. Anyways, we'll leave it at that, warriors. If you haven't joined our Private Warrior Academy, if you want a community of people, of like-minded people rising to the top together, click the description down below. If you want to get to know, like, and trust us first, join the free Facebook group and Discord group. You can join like-minded people. We love you. We appreciate you. And as we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.